Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? It's your boy Duck Zone 503, man, and we're gonna be rolling out the spring previews on this channel, man. I'm here. I got a special guest with me, Jonathan Charles at Jonathan_SD8 from Scoop Duck. Say what's up.
What's up? What's up? Make sure to hit that notification bell. Subscribe to my boy at DuckZone503. You already know where it's at. I appreciate Dominic bringing me on today to talk some Oregon football.
Yeah, 100%, man. Speaking about Scoop Duck a little bit, I got some big news. Thanks to your boy right here, Jonathan, man, for reaching out to me, man. I'm officially on the Scoop
Yes,
Duck
sir. Yes,
team,
sir.
man. I'm
Happy
gonna
to have
be
you.
Yes, sir, man. I'm very excited, man. You, Justin Hopkins, and the rest of the team, man. Very excited to be on. So if you guys aren't subscribed to that scoopduck.com, go get your news thread right now through On3. Let's do this, man. Anyways, man, let's get into it, man. We're going to be rolling out the spring previews, and in specific for this video, we're going to be talking about the quarterbacks. The spring game is on April 23rd, 1 p.m. Free admission with the donation of a couple cans. They're trying to do a can drive basically, and there's also news that there's no vaccine requirement for outdoor venues. The university reported that, so that's big news as well. I know a couple people that were upset about that, so good to hear that, to get everybody in the building and probably have some sellouts this next season. First spring practice is March 10th, so the practices are legit 11 days away. So we're getting into it. We're getting into it here. And with the quarterbacks, Anthony Brown is out of playing eligibility, so he's gone. The former starting quarterback last year, and then another quarterback left the program is Robbie Ashford, as he transferred to Auburn. Basically kind of did a Robbie Ashford to Bo Nix type trade, kind of looks like. But well, Oregon gave up Jason Jones.
Yeah, it kind of looks like
yeah, it kind of looks like that. Well, Oregon gave up Jason Jones
James.
and who else left? DJ James, right?
Yeah,
DJ James left as well. So yeah, I mean, that's a fair trade. I mean, Bo Nix for him, I would take that. Something also to note here, that this is the first time Oregon has not signed a prep quarterback since 2013. So it's been a while since Oregon has not signed a freshman quarterback in this class. So that's something to note. Tanner Bailey was committed, but when Cristobal left, he decided not to come on and went to South Carolina. So yeah, man, what's your thoughts on this this Oregon quarterback room? Early intro thoughts.
So they're taking 3 quarterbacks into the season. It can always be worrisome, especially when you have 2 younger guys just right behind you that haven't played meaningful time. If something were to happen to either Bo Nix or to Ty Thompson, whatever one starts, and so that can be a little worrisome just from a depth perspective, but from a talent perspective, it's a really stacked room. All 3 quarterbacks are pretty talented.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I just want to say, man, don't forget Jay Butterfield, man. That guy can sling it, bro. That guy can sling it. And
yeah,
the reason why I bring up his name, I know a lot of people don't really talk about him when talking about the starting job, is just because, when evaluating these quarterbacks, last year, especially in the spring game, I think Jay Butterfield really was your pocket passing quarterback. I think he really proved he's the slinging quarterback. And Kenny Dillingham said he wants to run the pro style. And when I think pro style, you think of a quarterback back there slinging it. I don't think you're going to see, him rush the ball 16 times in this offense, So if you're just talking about what fits that style best, I think Jay Butterfield, to be honest with you, really fit his style the best. I mean, just looking on the outside looking in, one of the bigger quarterbacks on the team, and last spring game really showed out and really had a great stat line. So I just think that's the biggest thing heading into the spring game is what is Kenny Dillingham really looking for in a quarterback? Like what's qualities and what style of quarterback is he really looking for? Because we don't really know what his offense is going to really look like. I mean, he's mentioned he wants to run 80 plays a game out of the pro style, which I don't know how manageable that's going to be, given that no team really ran 80 plays a game this last year. So I don't know how real that is, but I think he's just trying to say that he doesn't want to run a slow up the middle offense that Cristobal had. He wants to really try to get back out to playmaking, and one-on-one matchups is another thing he said, is finding those one-on-one matchups. So I think that's the biggest thing to look at, is what Kenny Dillingham's offense looks like and what he needs at quarterback for that offense. What do you think?
I would grab a quarterback, knowing how Coach Dillingham operates and the talent that's on the team and all the talent that they've acquired the last couple of years. I would go with a quarterback that best can get you the ball downfield and is the best, like most effective, most intelligent guy. You want a guy, of course, that can make all throws at all three levels. And for Coach Dillingham, whatever is the starting quarterback, you want the guy that that you can build an offense around. So you don't build your quarterback around the offense. You build your offense around the quarterback. And for me, I would think that Ty Thompson is the best option for all three, because of the fact that he can make all passes. He can make all the passes on all three levels. Plus he's also very mobile. If you were to grade him out, he literally grades out like above 7, like in pretty much almost like every category. So he can do a little bit of the read option, and if he needs to run and be more mobile in the pocket, then he can do it. Or if you need to make all like a deep throw over 40 yards, he could do it easily.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Ty Thompson's probably your best overall quarterback in the room. Talking about the quarterbacks, man, let's get into it. Let's talk about the newest addition to the quarterback room, Auburn transfer Bo Nix. Bo Nix had last season, he had 2,294 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions in 10 games for the Auburn Tigers in his junior year. He suffered an ankle injury that he's still recovering from, so it's important to note that he will not play in the spring game. I think Bo Nix, his biggest asset to this quarterback room is his experience. I think experience is such a huge deal at the quarterback position in college football. Nobody else in this room really has the experience. I was watching a video the other day, and I think it was Matt Preem from 247 Sports that said he has over 70 times the passes than any other quarterback in this room. So you've seen it with Anthony Brown last year at the Ohio State game, veteran quarterback that makes solid decisions with little to no mistakes in that game, and he got the win. I think if you were to throw a Ty Thompson or a freshman quarterback in there, 9 times out of 10, they're going to make mistakes in those type of big games. So I think experience is the huge thing that Bo Nix brings. 3-year starter, played against one of the toughest divisions, if not the toughest in college football, playing the SEC defenses every week. So when you look at his stats, you have to take that into consideration. He's also going to be playing against weaker defenses here in the Pac-12. So, and with that experience, I think that that's a plus for him. And no other quarterback has had any real game time. I mean, Ty Thompson had 1 drive against Stony Brook, and I think he was real solid against Stony Brook, but you look at him against Arizona and Colorado, who aren't really great FBS defense. He didn't perform that well. He really didn't. We'll get into stats at the end, but I think that's what Bo Nix brings to this quarterback room the best, is his experience. What do you think? What do you like about Bo Nix, and what do you kind of dislike?
Yeah, so from just like his like experience, like just because Bo Nix has started at another university for the last 3 years somewhere else doesn't like automatically make him the starter here at Oregon. He's a very good backup with he's a known commodity at this point, and you know what you're getting. And if Ty Thompson is the best option, then you start Ty, and at least you have a good backup just in case if Ty stumbles along the way, whether his confidence or he has an injury, and you can put in Bo Nix from that point and just go from there. So I see it both ways. Like, yeah, like he's a known commodity, which is a positive, but also the negative that people think that he's going to be the starter automatically, which is not true, just because we got a whole spring and whole fall to go through, and Ty Thompson or Jay Butterfield might be the starters.
Yeah, 100%, man. I see. This is the thing. I like Ty Thompson, and I like what I see, and I think why a lot of people lean towards Ty Thompson is because he was highly recruited. I mean, he was the highest
Right.
signed quarterback here. But this is also important to note is that if Bo Nix was to sign with Oregon, let's say he signed at Oregon at the beginning of his career, he would be the biggest highest recruited prospect
Quarterback.
coming to Oregon. He was a former 5-star, number 2 quarterback in the 19 class. So, just recruiting, Bo Nix gets the check there. I really like Bo Nix's mobility at quarterback, and he has a really strong arm. But the only thing that I would say I dislike about Bo Nix on tape when I watch him is he's really inconsistent, and that's a lot of things that Duck fans didn't like about Anthony Brown is his inconsistency. So when you're talking about starting Bo Nix, is that something you really want to do? Is just repeat something that you had with Anthony Brown, basically, because Anthony Brown, he didn't really have like the strongest arm, but I mean let's be real, he made solid decisions and he had great mobility, kind of compared a little bit to Bo Nix without the downfield throws really. And I don't know how much you put on that with Anthony Brown or Mario Cristobal there, but that's some things I like about Bo Nix is his strong arm, his mobility, but his inconsistency throwing, it kind of worries me a little bit. You hope that kind of gets shaved down a little bit with experience. It's going to be a senior year. Less talented defenses, let's just say that, here in the Pac-12.
Mhm.
And another thing with Bo Nix that's important to note is that he played under the offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham in the 2019 season when they played Oregon. So, Bo Nix, Offensive Player of the Year in 2019. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a solid starter. I don't know if he's a star, and if you're the Oregon coaches in this team, I don't know if you really want him to be your starter. I think you're hoping with these Oregon coaches, you're hoping that Ty Thompson and Jay Butterfield you can walk into practice and be like, wow, this is my starter. Because if you're still on the ropes with them, this is the second year you're getting beat out by a transfer quarterback. You know what I mean? So it just kind of worries. And another thing with Bo Nix is he's a winner, man. He beat Alabama. He won 8 games or more every year at Auburn. So yeah, I really like Bo Nix. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a fan. I wouldn't not, me personally, I would not be worried if Bo Nix was the start. So you mentioned Ty Thompson though. You mentioned he was your favorite. Talk about him a little bit. What do you like about Ty, and what do you dislike about him a little bit?
Ty Thompson. What I like to start off is that I like how he can make all the throws at all 3 levels. And something else that I like is that he's very mobile and he can do both options. You would have a hard time whether you wanted to grade him out as a pocket passer or as a dual threat, just because you can do all 3, or do both. And something else that I like is he has a high ceiling for sure. I think he probably has the highest ceiling out of all 3 quarterbacks in that room currently. If Ty Thompson does develop the way I think he is going to, I think he probably could be like at least a day 2 NFL draft pick at the very least, for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man. I agree. I think the biggest competition for Bo Nix in this starting competition is Ty Thompson. I really do. I just based off everything you said, I really like his size, his athletic ability at quarterback. I think he's your total package at quarterback, man. He's got mobility, solid frame for his age, can make
Mhm.
any throw on the field. And last year, man, I'll come out and say it. I'm not scared to say it. I was one of those guys in the crowd calling his name, Ty Thompson, bring on Ty Thompson, when AB was struggling in that Cal game. I was there, and I'm not afraid to admit it, because when a
Yes.
guy's struggling, I'm sorry. I'm a fan and I want nothing best for this team. But if somebody's not doing their job, you need to call them out on it. And I was calling for Ty Thompson. Trust me.
Because it was very apparent that the receivers were upset too, like during these games this past year. Like Devin Williams, for example, was one of them during the Ohio State game in the third quarter or second quarter, and he was very upset that Anthony Brown didn't throw him the ball downfield when he had a clear shot to the end zone.
Yeah, 100%, man. And Micah Pittman transferring, I mean, he kind of made a video about it. So, I think it was a mix of things as well. I just the coaches and the quarterbacks and Ty Thompson, man. I'm very excited, man. He's the highest rated quarterback Oregon's ever signed, and I think there's a reason for that. Like I said, he's really good. He got his opportunity against Stony Brook, went 6 for 9 passing and 2 touchdowns, so solid stat line. But when he went against FBS talent, now this is the thing, Arizona and Colorado, which ain't very good. He got in the game a couple times in both those games. He goes a stat line in those 2 games, 1 for 6 passing, 5 yards, 1 interception. So, you got a small sample size, but that's not great when you get your opportunity there. I do think looking at his tape and looking at him when he plays, he needs to get better at reading the defenses. And for this upcoming season, I think he's also going to need to master this playbook. Given that Nix has a little bit of a relationship with Dillingham, I know they're not going to be running the exact same offense, but Nix is going to have a little bit of up there. But then you can also say Ty's going to be able to show what he can do in the spring game, as well as Butterfield. So that gives it up for them heading into fall. So we'll see how this goes. I like I said, I like everything about Ty Thompson. I think if Ty Thompson is to get his potential, I think that takes the Ducks from Pac-12 champion, Rose Bowl contender to that national championship contender. I've always said it. If Oregon has a great quarterback like they did with Mariota, I do think they'll go to the national championship again, or the playoff at least. We've been right there. I just think inconsistent quarterback play or inconsistent coaching has held us back a little bit. And yeah, so let's get into the last thing here. Let's get into the last quarterback. Last but not least, like I said, I think this is your dark horse at starter. Just based off what I've heard, when OC Dillingham wants to run the pro style, Jay Butterfield instantly clicked in my mind. I said, okay, if he wants to run pro, Jay's your guy, because based off what I just seen last year, I mean, he looked great throwing the ball down the field. He's your typical pocket passer, pro style. Usually have their quarterbacks in the pocket standing there. Biggest quarterback in the room, 6'6", 202. I just think he needs to fill out his frame a little bit more. We were talking about Ty Thompson, how he has a solid frame for his age. I don't think that's the case with Jay Butterfield. I think he's really tall, but he's really slender and slim. So that's the thing with him that I would say he has to, just hit the weights. I think his talent is definitely there. His name gets lost behind Thompson and Nix a lot because, Nix and Thompson were very highly recruited. Not to say Jay Butterfield wasn't, but when you're talking about the level of recruitment that Nix and Thompson had, it was just different. I think depending on what Dillingham is really looking for at quarterback, I really think Jay Butterfield is your dark horse, man. What do you think?
To be the quarterback option?
Yeah, man. I think just off Dillingham's pro style offense, I think Jay Butterfield is the best style fit quarterback out of the 3, in my opinion.
Yeah. There's a couple notes that I wanted to pass before I
Sure.
make my prediction for the quarterback. So most of the quarterback development happens in the offseason. These college coaches don't have time to help out quarterbacks in their like physical development with their like mechanics and everything. All that happens in the offseason.
Okay.
So these like quarterback coaches for these colleges, all they have time is like the mental development and then how these quarterbacks progress on the field.
Gotcha.
And Coach Dillingham is a very, very, very good quarterback developer. He, of course, is one of the reasons why Bo Nix did so very well in his first year as a freshman.
Yeah, probably his best season.
Yeah, yep. And all 3 quarterbacks, or even Bo Nix, is stepping into a better situation here at Oregon versus at Auburn. His offensive line graded out pretty poorly the last couple of years. Unfortunately to him, it's just the way the cookie crumbled for him at Auburn. But all 3 quarterbacks have a very good line at Oregon. They all have a very good receiver room, tight end room, running back room, you name it, they got it. So all 3 quarterbacks are stepping into a very good situation that they're going to be very successful in. And I know Coach Dillingham is going to put the quarterbacks in a good situation and good positions to succeed, especially if they want to score 30 plus points a game and run more than 60 plays a game for sure. they won't be run necessarily the old school under center pro style offense. It just means that the route concepts are going to be more pro style like. So, but I think the pro style offense is more beneficial to quarterbacks since it's very simplistic and it's very based off of the safeties, off of what they're doing. Because with the spread offense, you got to make multiple reads and you got to go through the whole field progression and see which one is going to be the best fit. And then after that, you're going to make a few different calls.
Yeah.
So going to the question now of who I think is going to be the quarterback starter. Drum roll, please. So I feel it's going to be Ty Thompson. I even mentioned this on the last video. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. It'll be at the top right corner. I mentioned that Ty Thompson is going to be the starter. Like I mentioned in this video, he can do all three. He can make all the throws in all three levels. He's very consistent, and he's a dual threat quarterback. Like he's very mobile. Like I said, if you were to grade him out, it would be like a 7 out of 10 on every category at the very least. Some categories are far better than others, but that's the way I would grade out Ty Thompson. So at worst, you're getting a C grade quarterback overall, but I mean a 7 out of 10 in all like 7 categories or 10 categories, whatever the case may be. Like that's very okay.
Yeah, 100%, man. I definitely could see any one of these quarterbacks starting. I really could. Each one has a different strength and a different weakness that, just outweighs the other. And I just think it's going to come down to what Dillingham is looking for in a quarterback. I mean, it would be easier for me.
I'm not very concerned because these quarterbacks, they know how to understand an offense. They understand all these college concepts. They're not a true freshman that's stepping on campus. Like, for example, like if Tanner Bailey were to come to Oregon, he'd be very confused. And that's totally fine. Freshman quarterbacks need time to understand an offense. But Ty Thompson, this is his 2nd year in college. Jay Butterfield, this is his 3rd year in college. He understands and knows how to break down a defense like very, very well. He understands the ins and outs of like a cover 4 defense, like for example, and like what the linebackers in the front 7 are going to do, So yeah.
Yeah, mentally, I think he definitely knows the game for sure and knows the college game, but reps are everything, man.
Right.
Experience, especially at the quarterback position, I think experience is heavy. I think it's heavy. And you look at Oregon's opponent week 1, they're going against Georgia. Who's played Georgia already? Bo Nix. And who has experience, man, playing against some of those tough SEC defenses. I mean, you're talking about going against an SEC defense that shut down Alabama in this national championship game. So I honestly,
Bo Nix hasn't beaten Georgia. He does have that experience against Georgia.
He hasn't beat them, but
knows what they do. And even in the SEC style, like majority of them played the same defense.
Yeah, I just think that's why it's hard for me to say I'm gonna go here and say it's Bo Nix's job week 1. It's his job to lose. I'll say that. I'm not gonna lock him in, but I do think it's his job to lose as of right now, just based off, he has tape, he's been there, done that, and it's hard for me to say some guy who's never really played. I know he's highly recruited, and I understand what you're saying completely, that he has the talent. I do think he's more talented than Bo Nix even. Once he hits his potential, I think he'll be one of the most talented quarterbacks in Oregon if he reaches his potential. And on tape, he can make every throw, but you need that experience to really and get reps to get there. And just at least week 1, I don't think Bo Nix is losing this job. And I could see him losing it, later in the year. And that's another thing I wanted to say is for the spring game. Just in specific, the spring game, I want to see it's going to be Thompson Butterfield battle. I want to see one of these quarterbacks out battle the other. Like I don't want to see them both put up numbers. I want to see one stand out. You know what I mean? Either Thompson or Butterfield, because then we know, okay, Bo Nix got a guy behind him that could possibly start. If we come out, we just see some, like 12 for 17, 120 yards, 1 touchdown. Like that's not great. I want to see like some crazy numbers, and given it's a spring game, they're not going to show off too much or play. I don't know how much they're even going to play like those guys, but we'll see, man. I want to definitely see some things. So there you have it, man. If you want to give anything else before I get off here.
Um, so some recruiting notes real quick. As of today, Josh Connerly, the 5-star offensive tackle, will be visiting Oregon March 11th through the 13th, and then reclassified 2023 to 2022 prospects, 5-star defensive end Lebeus Overton will be visiting next month, the same weekend actually, for an unofficial visit, and then he'll take some more visits in the spring and summer too. So he could return to Oregon for a second visit in April through June.
100%, man. Thanks for the scoop, man. If you guys want all the recruiting news, man, go follow Scoop Duck. Go follow Jonathan Charles, man. This guy is connected with a lot of recruits for the upcoming 23 and 24 class. So go ahead and follow him at Jonathan Charles _SD8. Go ahead and follow me, man. Duck Zone 503. Y'all know what it is. Join the family, the Duck Zone family. Everybody go subscribe as well. If you want the news right away, go follow our Twitters and my Instagram. Jonathan's very active on Twitter as well. So yeah, man, go get the scoop for sure.
Go subscribe. Make sure to go hit that notification bell. I'll make sure to be on here more often, and make sure to go follow Doug Zone 503 on Instagram and Twitter. He does a lot of good work and follow-ups with the recruits and where the recruitment is at.
Yeah,
go follow me like Dominic said on Twitter at Jonathan _SD8.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have Jonathan on a lot more because working on Scoop Duck and stuff. And him having the recruiting scoop. I'm sure you guys love to see him a lot more. So we're gonna get him on as much as we can. He's a busy guy, so not all the time, but as much as we can. Anyways, y'all have a great day. Go Ducks.
Appreciate it. Go Ducks.